center of my joy. All that's good and perfect comes from you. For you're the heart of my contentment, hope for all I do. Jesus, you're the center of my joy.
Amen. God bless you. You're welcome to another date with the pastor. So go and find at least 5-10 people, greet them, tell them something good, and welcome them as you sit down. Amen. This is the second edition. Okay, let's begin. Last week, we were teaching laws of engagement, rules of engagement. The relationship have laws that govern it. There are 7 major laws of life. 7. The first, I will mention the one that is very obvious so that it will begin to set your mind. The first, what we call laws of nature. Laws of nature. Now, none of you can argue that there are laws, whether you understand them or not. I just dropped my Bible. A whole holy Bible. Gravity did not respect it. He brought it down. There are 7 laws of life. For example, principles. That's what we're talking about. Principles that govern certain areas. All principles are given to simplify living. In other words, whenever you understand the principles relating to a particular area, your difficulties in that area dissolve. The greatest key to life is principles. The only thing apart from God Almighty I can recommend that if you have mastered life, principles. The only thing that is higher than principles is the principal himself, which is God. God himself said to Joshua, this book of the law, that's God's view of the Bible. The Bible has 3 major things that make it tick. Number 1 is the principle, which is God. It's a revelation of God. And when you study the Bible, that's the first thing you want to get out. Number 2, principles is a book of the law. It's a book of principles. It's a book of rules. I said number 3, prophecies. After these 3, you can now talk about other things like history. The Bible is not a history book, but it has some historical facts. It's not a science book, but it has some scientific facts too. So the first thing that makes the Bible what it is the supernatural. There is a God behind that book. It's a God-breathed book. That's why as you read the book, you can't get tired of miracles. It doesn't talk natural talk. Miracles, 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 dividing the Red Sea, turning water to wine, is God. The second one, principles. The second thing that you find in the Bible shows that there is a way to get the results that the Bible promises. Those ways, those are what the Bible calls principles. There are laws that deliver results on a consistent basis. The Bible teaches that a man that sees all the power, God, supernatural display, that wants to only relate with God on the basis of the supernatural, will many times be disappointed. If you have walked with God long enough, you will know what I'm talking about. But the one that wants consistent result in working with God must walk with him on the basis of laws or principles. In that way, you will be enjoying constant supernatural and constant divine providence. Now, many of you have prayed to have better marriages. Many of you have prayed to find the right man. Coming now. God asked me to do this, to deliver to you principles that will carry these things and put in your hands. So you're just going to have the narrowing of the gap between the promises and the reality. That's what principles does. And some of the most beautiful things about principles, like there are 12 characteristics of principles. One of them is that it is universal. They work for white man, black man, everybody, anywhere. One of them is that there are no respecter of persons. That means what I'm going to show you today removes favoritism out of the equation. At the end of it, you will find a secret that will help you, that will not make this sister have an advantage over you. Let me give you some things. The rules, these rules, I've never bothered to teach them publicly. This is the first time I'm doing it. I've been using it to deal with my staff, deal with some individuals. I have seen a blind woman marry before young pretty girls. I've pastored a blind woman before. And she married right there. Within the first 2 years of being in her ministry, she got married and wedded a man with a doctorate degree that is rich from a wealthy family. Now, there are principles that can get you married even if you are blind. I have married a woman with 4 kids. And a young man that has not been married before comes to collect her. And you see young girls that are fresh from the womb. Nobody's asking anything. Now, in case you think I've had a child before, whether out of wedlock or whatever, you think that is what will stop you from getting married. In the last 2 years, we have wedded 6 girls with HIV. Positive. It's not like they got cured. And all the men they married had no HIV. 6 of them. Now, we're not talking about deceiving the man, not telling him. They know. Yet, they will leave all the sisters in the fellowship, all the other girls, and still marry these people. You know why I'm mentioning this? I want to let you know, what I'm about to put in your hand will demystify the issue. If you are single, issue about finding a husband. If you are married, issue about keeping your man. Ladies that play by the rules, men don't leave them. You don't leave them. If you even walk away as a man, you will be the one broken and shattered, and you will be the one coming to look for what, and you better do it on time, because they will attract another person. They attract why they are married. Talk less of when they are not. Why they are in marriage, they are chasing them. Talk less of. There are some of them, people will be begging them, even inside their marriage, please, can you? Yeah. It's a very powerful thing for a woman to know. There are unnecessary heartbreaks that a lot of people are going through that was not necessary. This is one thing that if you can put in the hand of every girl, once she gets to puberty, you can save her from so many problems. She will marry the man of her dream. Because the principle of the rule is not just about helping you get married, it's also about helping you stay married. But it's not just about marrying just anybody. I'm going to download the whole rules for you people. I just give you 7. If you keep this rule, you will marry before all these girls here. I don't know what your own disadvantage may be, whether it's internal or external. It's time to go ahead in life and succeed and fulfill God's plan for your life, irrespective of whatever it is. I don't care what you have gone through. God's plan for your life is not going to be damaged because of that experience. Can I hear you say amen? Yeah. Oh, I was mentioning 7 principles. Number 1, gravity. You know about that. Let's get it right so that it will guide you. Then, that's the law, natural laws. Then we have spiritual laws. For example, faith. How does faith produce healing? How does he get all those things done, move mountain? It's a spiritual law. If you understand the dynamics, the 5 process of faith, you can always get your prayers answered, and you can always get things to happen. When you see people doing like you're told to speak in tongues, and you don't understand, why should I just be saying something I don't understand? No, it's a spiritual law. Words. Another law of health is exercising. You can control your health. So it's no more God deciding when you are going to die. You are deciding it by your fork and knife. People that God planned that they will be here by 90 can go at 40 because of this. Just like they said, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Death and life are in the power of your plate or your fork. I went for a meeting somewhere where somebody actually brought 2 whole chicken. I said, Pastor, eat meat, eat meat. So, entertainment for the man of God. I said, is that what you people give men of God? He said, yes. Animal protein that should be eaten sparingly. 2 whole chicken. Somebody will finish it and feel, yeah. What he didn't know is that if they've given him a glass of poison, he would have been decent. So, laws of health. There are laws of health. The first 5 basic ones include things like exercise, dieting, drinking water, clean water, breathing in fresh air. If you want to know what holds your life, the number one thing, that's what God did. Adam became a living soul. So the first thing is air, clean air, saturated with oxygen. Second thing is that he caused rain to fall on mud before he made our body. So our body is 70% water. So second one, clean water. Third one is correct food. As I said, diet, correct food. The closer what you eat is to nature, the longer you live, the healthier you live. The closer it is to chemicals, the closer you are heading to your grave. So eat more of things that are natural. For example, look at juice. They'll tell you pure juice, pure orange. If you can buy an extractor and you get your orange, put in there, you drink fresh orange. You can prolong your life by 20 years if you do that with all your drink sources, apart from water. You will prolong your life, just that one. There's a lady I met that was in her 70s. She was looking 40. I told Pastor, I said, this woman is 71. He said, I cannot believe it. I said, yeah. You ask her, it tells you, I don't drink all these things they package. Because of the method of packaging it, the chemicals, what it does to the human body. The way it works now, you are young now, so most of the harvest will not come now, even though it's coming for some. But you sow now, when you get to 45, 50, 60, harvest time comes. Then you reap and reap and reap and reap and reap. So all those excessive prayers, you can use the understanding and the submission to the principles of health, laws of health, to destroy them. So at 75, you're not using glasses, you're not using walking stick, you're just normal woman. You can decide to dye your hair and attach weave on. And then for us ladies, another law of health that's very important is sunlight, vitamin D. Then you avoid the ultraviolet light, which is the hot sunlight. For one reason, your skin. You want to still be. Now look at how fresh you're looking. And you're blessed to be a black woman to start with. But the white ladies don't have as much melanin in their system. They don't have as much protection as we do. So there is this equipment that can see through your skin and predict when you're going to have skin cancer. So they brought 2 white ladies, one that goes for tanning, sun tanning during summer. She will go there so that the sun. And they looked inside her skin and saw that already 7 cancer cells are already developing. And she thought she was fine because she was getting colored, but she was burning her skin without knowing. And then they showed her in the next 8 years how ugly she will be looking, because a lot of the skin will have been damaged. Then they showed the other one that uses sunshades and some other thing. I had to be careful with the sun. We're in Africa, it's hottest here. But yet, those who care about need to know these things on time. When you get to buy your car, air conditioning in Africa is not luxury. It's like buying a sandal. And when you are in Lagos, where area boys stop at road junction and traffic, what do you call it? Go slow. What do you call it? During traffic, whether it's you're waiting for traffic, they're putting in traffic lights now. Waiting for traffic light, whatever, they are collecting phones and money and handbag. So to have a car where you can still breathe inside with your distance wind up, it's not luxury at all. Then of course, exercise. It used to be walk in the days of our ancestors, my grandmother and co. And it used to be W-O-R-K and W-A-L-K. Because the basic tool of transportation was Legacy's Benz. And the type of professions they were engaged in would tax their body. When you were a farmer and all those, or you are like Abraham that reared cattle, by the time you trek around like these nomadic people, you can't. But today, when we move from our room, the only walk is to the toilet and back, and then to your car. Then your car to your office. Then for most of us, you use the elevator. Learn to use step. It does you more good. Except when there is really a need, you are running out of time. These are little things. I'm meeting people who are making these decisions. You see them, there is an elevator, they take step. They are buying the future. They are buying back their health. Then from elevator, back to car to house, house to bed, back to car tomorrow. And that's how our life is. When you get to office, back to that, you sit down in one place. When are you burning all those things you're putting in? You're converting them to glycogen, to fat, and laying layers upstairs in different parts of the body. Because exercise, the key to life is movement. Your bowels move. Your lungs move. Your blood circulates. It's circulation. Everything has to move. The water has to flow. Everything. Then the bad ones will go out, and so on and so forth. But exercise is the key. You have to walk the system. But, happens to my car. I leave it in one place for too long. Come back. Wahala. It's the same thing with everything. I went to see somebody in the hospital, and another man asked me, he said, pray for me. I said, pray. What is the problem? He said, he can't use his hand. When he came there for another problem. He said he developed this one in the hospital. Because while they were treating his leg, he was involved in an accident and another. He stayed in a place for too long. I don't know, the way they hanged him made him, stay in a particular way for too long. And he started losing feelings, use of some part of his body. So he was undergoing physiotherapy, but he was saying, please, sir, I could add anointing to physiotherapy to make this thing come back fast. Now, the one I cannot understand is people that have not had kids. I can understand what childbirth does to women. What I cannot understand is the one that pounded the yam and other things does. How can you allow it? You cannot allow it now. You're not being wise. Then you come and be disturbing God the Father with prayer. And he said, my daughter, remove some of these mountains you have built. Move some of them. Do a little fast on fruits and water. Do something so that this prayer can get answered. I told you that there is a process to prayer. Say it. Don't think it's about being slim. That is a standard. No. It's about looking after yourself. Looking good. Being feminine. Being attractive. Not showing nakedness and degrading yourself and calling that a way to get men's attention. No. No. Now, if these ones are obeyed, before you even start talking about complex things like going for checkups, going for all this other stuff, these are natural things that God created to keep us healthy. So, for example, you see sunlight. What he's telling you is that if you stay indoors too much, you're not doing yourself good. Those of us who use ACs should know that the oxygen we get from air conditioners are charged. They are iodized, if you want to say it that way. They are not as good as fresh air. So sometimes I get out of my house to take a walk and then I do long exercise. And I'll do it like 50 just to get some fresh air into my system. The same thing with sunlight. You have to sometimes get out in the morning, let that morning sun beat you. The evening sun, is it as good as the morning one? Does it give anything at all?
The purpose of vitamin D is to help the absorption of calcium to protect your bones, yes, and to also protect your skin. So you need intake of calcium with the vitamin D that you're getting.
Osteoporosis, the loss of bone mass, is a big problem in women, especially when you start getting pregnant. When you get pregnant, you lose a lot of your calcium to the baby. So all those white teeth that the baby is going to form and the baby's bone is going to collect them from your body. So early morning sunlight, pregnant women who get up in the morning to take walk and all that, plus eating well too, like milk and all the balance. But we're not here to talk about health, but it's connected to love anyway. So laws of health. Then there are laws of wealth, laws of prosperity. That's why you see a lot of teaching now on wealth creation. Those are some of the principles that are trying to get across to people. Savings, investing. How many have I given you? 4. Let's close with the one we're dealing with. Last week we talked about the don'ts. Let's open up the rules of engagement. There are principles that govern relationship. Anybody that knows them will just be having a good time. And they are classified into 3 segments. One of them has to do with what I'm dealing with now. When you get married, there are also some aspects that are specific to marriage. So if you notice, these rules of engagement, I have it in 3 different sections. I have it for women, that's the one you are. And the ones we're teaching women is about understanding the male foe. How to. Then we have one for men, which is where we give them secrets on you again. Then we have for couples. But there are a lot of things here that are for couples. Beyond that, you have social laws that deals with relationship between people in all classes of life. And some of you who study social studies and some of that deal with some of those principles. It's not just about who you marry, who you are not married or dating or relationship in that sense. No. Then that's why you have civil law in nations, because it's about interactions and relationship between people. Then you have, of course, jurisprudence, which are societal laws. Those laws that are made to govern how people live within a society. There's one I omitted called moral laws, the moral code. 10 Commandments, for example. The moral code was used as a foundation for developing the constitutions of many of the Western or civilized nations. Moral laws. Before God wrote them down, they were there. but they were written in the conscience of men. They were written in the conscience. Jesus summarized them like this: do to others as you want them to do to you. So what I'm letting you know in essence is that life is not just where you do things anyhow. You will keep having problems. It's important that you settle down any area of life you're going into. Settle down, master the principles that have to do with that area, that govern it. You have peace. You can make things happen. According to God, He said you will make your way prosperous and you will have good success. So let's begin. Many women simply have not been schooled in the basics, which are the rules of finding or attracting a husband, or at least being loved by them. The other side is also the rules of keeping a man when you finally marry one. The rules are just a simple working set of behavior that, when followed, serve to make women irresistible to desirable men. There is a way to act around men, around brothers, that makes you a magnet. And when I say men, remember, born again or not born again, it works on everybody. But don't go and attract an unbeliever. It will be attracting them, but don't marry one. It's not good for you. God has said so many things about that, but I don't want to bother about that. But what I'm telling you will attract all of them. Okay. The rules shows you how to behave in dating, relationship, and in marriage. Whether you are engaged or married, you will still need them. Older ladies that play by the rules will marry faster than younger women that do not play by these rules. Playing by the rules makes you a refreshing person to be with. And when you practice the rules on a man who initially shows interest, he gets to fall in love with you and value you. There are many benefits of living by the rules as well as consequences of breaking them. We shall have enough time to do that. The rules help women not to waste their time in a relationship that have no future. Rules girls don't waste their life waiting for one useless man. Not interested. The rules will tell you, once the relationship has no future, get out of that place, because you will pull the right ones instead of leaving that guy to be blocking up. There are many benefits of living by the rules. Once you start breaking the rules, every promising relationship starts to fall apart. Even good relationships. There are some of you who have lost a lot of wonderful people that have come into your life, and you are angry. You are angry with the guys. Man, I don't understand men. Or these brothers, all this, or what you just don't know. Once you start breaking them, even relationships that they start shattering, they start breaking apart. It's better to stay home and learn the rules than to go out and break them. For example, this is one of the rules. So we pulled it forward. The rules tell women not to pursue men for one single reason. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If it works, I'll even teach my daughters to do it. It doesn't. They said 2% of the male folks will still marry you even when you pursue them. The only problem is they will pay you after you marry them. Those of you who are married and who got it by initiating the thing will know what I'm talking about. A lady pursues a man in a different way. You won't know. At the end of the day, you are grateful. You are even thanking her for saying yes. Meanwhile, she's the one that did someone. It doesn't work. Men are different from women. Men are born to respond to challenge. They fight wars. They do sports. So when a woman stops pursuing a man, that woman stops being challenging. And the delight that a man finds by pursuing and capturing, just like a hunter, goes. It's like lions. Lions don't eat dead meat. If you die by yourself, that's why they say one of the ways to escape from a lion, if he's pursuing you and you see that there is no way, if you can fall down keep your heartbeat still. He will leave you and go. He will hang around to check well. If he sees heartbeat, he will finish the meat immediately. But if you can, the guy will get tired and go. You have taken away the delight of hunting from him. Now, so the rules are about opening up slowly so that men aren't overwhelmed with you. This is another rule. Those of you were last week, I listed some of them. This is another one. Just what women do is that once they meet you and love, they start downloading. I slept with 200 men. I slept with my boss. I slept, I have been abused. I was raped twice. I was this. The guy will just be, they will encourage you because that's how men are. They encourage you for a while, but then next time you'll be wondering what is pursuing him. You open up to a man slowly. You maintain a sense of vague. According to the rules, the man is the one that should be an open book. You carry all your wahala and start dumping on the man. And no man looking for a wife is looking for trouble. No man looking for a wife is looking for damaged products. And you are not one until you say you are. Anyway, continue. Rules work on all men from every nation, from every culture, from all walks of life. There's no man that is an exception to the rules. It works on all of them. That's why sometimes when Satan wants to go after a man of God, they find a girl that is properly trained in this. And there are cases, good men of God, holy men of God. They get them. Why? Especially if there's sense. Because the devil uses such opportunity, especially if there is a crack in the marriage and the partners are still struggling, trying to fix it. He sends. Just like the daughters of Jezebel, the daughters of Babylon, many of them have skill. The daughters of Zion need skill. If Esther did not know this, that assignment God gave her to save a nation would have failed. Okay. 21 things you need to know about men. Let me list some of them. Every girl needs to know this. Number one, men like women and boys like girls. Simple. Stop acting like a boy. Don't dress like men. Dress to project your femininity. Don't copy men in your dressing. Let me give you an example. Men like long hair. Your hairstylist might suggest to you to cut your hair. Someone they tell you to go bald-headed. That's all right. It's good for them. They are fashion, whatever. But they are not men. Men like it long. Well, you can say anything you like, can hate what it is, go and research it. It's a standard law. Of course, they so like it long that when you walk like this, shake it sometimes. Sometimes let it drop and then use your hand and just brush it this way. That's what proves them. That's what men call sexy. Am I talking? Go and do golimapa. Your hairstylist said it's fine on you. Thank you. They are not the ones you are trying to attract. Stop dressing like boys. You are not there to attract another girl. Unless you are homo something or Eliza something. Number two. Men are different from women. They look different. They act different. They think different. It's better know that. Look at one of the areas this applies, for example. Each time couples come to my office that are having problems, The wife was like crying, Pastor, John doesn't know that I love him. John doesn't know how much I love him and he's doing this to me. No, it is not love that the man needs from you. It is what? Respect. You are the one that need love. So you are giving the fish what you eat. As a wise woman who know how to catch men. Remember, that is the Great Commission. From now on, thou shalt catch men. That's your commission now. And that's what I'm teaching you. From now on, thou shalt what? As a wise woman who know how to catch men, you give the fish the bait that attracts it, not the one that attracts you. You eat chicken. Don't put chicken in your hook. The fish doesn't eat chicken. What they eat is worm. For example, you eat sardine. Don't give fish sardine that has been treated with salt and all that. If you leave it as it is, fresh, whatever, the big fishes will come to eat that small one. Don't give them a dikaiko soup. Give them what they want, and then they will give you what you want, which is fish. And when you finish frying it, the two of you shall become one in the stomach. Men are hunters, so they like to hunt, and they don't like to be hunted. Men are hunters. Very important. You need to know that. You need to know that. When you start chasing a man, instead of hunting you, he starts running from you. Men love a challenge. Take away the challenge and their interest wanes. If a man loves challenge, women must become what? Challenging to catch. That's why you don't say no that fast. I mean, you don't say yes that fast. You don't pack and rush into his house. You decline some of his offers. He wants to start carrying you in his car everywhere. You say, no, I've already made an arrangement. I am going with my friends. That's what makes him. He will marry that girl. You start jumping into everything. Next thing. Oh, come over to my house this weekend. Is there anything wrong with two people who love each other to spend a weekend together? You go over. Then you leave your pants. Leave your bag. Leave your bras hanging. By next time, he's throwing you out with your bag. Men love the seemingly unattainable girl and take for granted the easily attainable ones. There are sometimes they marry these ones that are cheap, but when they marry them, they take them for granted. So throughout that marriage, it doesn't have any value for me. The obtainable is always more exciting to them. Men often want something more just because they can't have it. I said it now, check with your life. If you notice, those men that you are posing for, that you're doing a fico for, that you have been refusing, are the ones that have been pursuing. Those ones you carried yourself and throw on are the ones that abandoned you. Check. There's something in a man that wants to conquer, including women. He can be flying to Canada, to Nigeria, without any business plan, just to come and see you. Carry yourself and throw at him. You'll be the one begging him sometimes to answer your phone. Then his excuses will be how busy he is, how that he attends meetings, he does that. You start hearing that. Everywhere is quiet. I have to trust God to raise a few more people who will undertake this assignment, because this thing, if we want to help our people, especially sisters. When I say sisters, I mean born again ladies. Because the other people out there, they can be brutal. They can go to Baba and put something in his water, or put it in the soup, or do some other things. They have tried this thing, no, the other one broke his heart, the second one broke, the third one broke. She can go and put it in. But God's people need to be told the truth. You don't have to go through all this unnecessary heartache. Okay, let's continue. Men like women who are neat and clean. Men hate dirty women. You know, an elderly man was having an affair with one small girl. And this case was getting out of hand. So one time I spoke to him, I said, please, sir, how can you, and this thing is becoming a public, it's even now, just withdraw now. And the people love you, everybody's praying for, everybody's talking, just let this small girl alone. He said, no. I said, why? He said, if you want to help me, tell that woman to take her bath. To learn to take her bath. He said, she will stay in the kitchen, cook, smoke, onions, all that. Then in the night, she will carry that and walk into the bedroom to come and stay with me. I'll pack my this and go to the parlor to lie. Because each time I turn to near her, I don't know whether it's soup, ogusi, or whatever that I'm saying. You better take this thing seriously. Oh. It's even more critical that a man is still dating you. He doesn't know which perfume he hears all the time. Next thing is his back here you are seeing. Yeah, what did I do to you to deserve this? After all that I did for you, I gave you my soul, I gave you my body, I gave you everything. Why did you do this to me? You don't keep a man by giving him everything. You keep a man by lining. You see, all those prayers, a little Lauren here, right one, a little deodorant, a little, can just make a little difference. Because none of us have real good odor naturally. Oh. The human body manufacture is a factory and is releasing. Some of the ones that you are not releasing in the toilet are coming out through the pores of your skin. That's why God created water and gave us wisdom to create soap and gave us wisdom to extract from the flowers deodorants and perfumes. Men fall in love through their eyes, while ladies fall in love through their ears. In other words, all those talk you are telling the man, it's not what will seal the deal. Make sure you look it. Make sure. Realize that your looks. If you have good legs, wear knee-length skirts. I know they won't tell you that. Don't worry. I know you are in church environment. I know some pastors will crucify me for that. But after, their sisters will come and buy this tape. Don't wear mini skirts. It's not good. But there are people, even based on your height, there are some people that this very long one, they look like chimpanzee in it. There's one lady, we're trying to get her to dress right. She doesn't have a single skirt. So we started, working on her. No, too much trouser. Some of these are not, So she decided, okay, pastor, to be a godly one. And she went and chartered this long thing. First service, she wore it. The girl is good looking. But when she walked in, if you are her father, you would drive her into the room. I said, please, no. It's better to go back to your trousers than to look like this. That's why we also said, sometimes get the help of professionals. But you don't need professionals. There are people who understand. Look at people who know how to look good. There's something about ladies. You can recognize it when you see them. Yes. Is that not why we're sisters? Is that not why we're the body of Christ, members of one another? But if you are so unteachable, or maybe it hurts your pride to ask somebody for, I don't know. Now, if I become your friend and I'm one of your sisters in church and I'm having problem maybe with pimples, this thing, or one little thing, and I come to you and say, please, I'm having problem. Is there anything I can do today? Will you tell me something? Even though I've not come officially. Because some of us are born in places where, your own mom, your mother is elegant. I've met mothers who are hotter than their daughters. So it's much, you've grown up observing certain standards, it's easier. But if you're like me that was born in the village, I have to now learn it. I'm taught that nature contributes only 30% of what you need in life. Nurture contributes 70%. So most of what you need to become a success in life, you have to get it through knowledge, through training, by asking, by mentorship, by exposure, by traveling, and so on. If you want to stay only with the one that nature gave you, like leave nature, your nails will grow till it becomes like ego. It will curve like this and keep going. But nurture tells you have to cut it and have manicure and other. Nurture tells you to do your hair. So don't say this is the way God made me. You can enhance it. Amen. Number 9, men love privacy. Most men find chatty women very annoying. No man wants to date a big mouth. Everything that happens, you tell. Can't keep your mouth shut. Here is this big guy. He's wealthy. He's doing well. Found a young girl. Wants to marry. The girl can't keep quiet. The girl works in the same bank, but another branch. And you know, if you are to marry, one of you will have to either move job because it's not good for him and it's not good for her. She can't keep quiet. They will go on a date. She will come to office, her girlfriends. And then when I called her once, he said, Pastor, it's not like I just told only 3 of my friends. And I actually told them to promise me or that they won't tell. Don't you know that they also have their 3 good friends? And then those friends have their own friends. And she lost that relationship just like that. Okay. Men are irrational when it comes to love. We'll get to that a little. You know what is when they like you, even some of your stupid stuffs just becomes amusing and it just becomes part of the excitement. Okay, let's continue. A man in love with a woman acts different with her than with others. That's why I think we'll probably get there. How you can tell that a man is truly in love with you. You will see. They act different. People who are properly trained can sometimes catch them, even if they're hiding it. Now, it's important because of when you are in a relationship that is hopeless. Nothing is happening, but you are there. You need to know when there is no future here, even if nobody has said anything. You need to be able to know. Most men fall in love faster than women. They also fall out of love faster. You need to know this. Men at the beginning of a relationship want to see you a lot, sometimes every day, but they grow very bored quickly. That's how some of us lost the ones we lost. That's why the key, when you deal with the rules said, especially at the beginning, a lady should pace the relationship, slow him down. If you leave him, he will have you in the bed. He will have things happening. If you leave him, it's the lady's job to slow him down. And that slowing him down activates greater intensity in the pursuit. You may not like some of the things we are saying here. We're not there when God was designing the man. That's how he designed it. Understand how your car works. If he uses diesel, give it diesel. Stop complaining. Why shouldn't this car take oil? Why is this car not using? Learn the rules, enjoy the drive, and make life easier for you. Okay? Men don't lie when they tell you that they don't love you. A lot of women will mean, I know he doesn't really mean. So you see that lady stay in that relationship for 3 years. If a man opens his mouth and tells you that he's not in love with you, listen, my friend, get up. Now, that's different from married people. Even for married people, it doesn't mean it's a lie. It's still the truth. But there are a set of other principles, response to it. But A man tells you that don't waste your time again. Rules, girls, don't waste time. Don't waste their time. That is a hint for the woman to break up that relationship and find her way. There are a lot of them. There are different types of blends of men. There are some that won't even come out openly to say it like that way. Just be giving you the hints. We don't know how to read it. So let's continue. Men love mystery. It is important to project a certain amount of mystery during dating period. You said the man must be an open book. The woman must be a mystery. You know what we mean by, don't open up everything about your life. Do it gradually. As it proves to be more trusting, do it gradually. Do it gradually. Don't say anything you will regret later. Men like independent women and get tired of two dependent ones. If you forget everything, don't forget this one. One of the major reasons men leave women. Don't make your husband your business. It is one of the causes of the fall. When God was laying a curse on the women, he said, your desire shall be to your husband. It is not, if he was there before, he wouldn't have to lay it as a curse. Don't make the man your obsession. That is the greatest way, one of the most effective way to lose a man. Men love independent women because they leave them alone. They love chasing women who are busy. That's why we tell women to get a life, get busy, find something to do, even if you are not employed. Better you donate your time for charity. Get involved in church work. Go and donate your time freely and serve. Let him find you that you are after something, then he will be after you. For example, they find it interesting when they truly see that you're after God. They also find it interesting when they see you that you're after purpose. They find it interesting when they see you that you're after something like a career. Then you become interesting to them. You know, after they marry you, they will start complaining about this being busy. Don't throw it away in your marriage. If you throw it away, you will bore him in that marriage. When he complains that, you don't have to, make time for him. Always leave your husband alone. Leave him to be. Men love space. They need space. For example, they enjoy it sometimes to be alone. Sometimes, for example, in dating, you go out, and as you're coming, after a wonderful evening, there is silence in the car. Don't feel obliged to break it. You see him, he's just, and you people are driving, and nobody's saying anything. So most of the time, the lady can't keep her mouth. Keep quiet. Sometimes they are thinking about how to propose. Sometimes they are thinking about the next major move to make. Sometimes he's even thinking about calculating that night how to take you to his house and ask you to sleep over. Yes. If you see how men settle down to plan these things in their head, it's a project. Don't mess it up. When you get him to be quiet like that, you have him exactly where you need him to be. But you know, women. So, get a life. Get a life. Don't let your life revolve around him. Have your own friends. That's why I warn any girl, even if your family, your father is Mr. Devil, and your mother is Mrs. Demon. Don't make the man feel that you are running away from home. Let him, even if you didn't miss your parents, cry as if you are missing them. Talk about your parents with dignity. Talk about them with respect. Talk about how that you are close. Talk about your brothers. How that, because the truth is that I know that the family God gives you in marriage is the only one you can say is better than, but you don't know my family. Nobody cares for anybody. You don't know my dad. He's very selfish. And I have been praying to the Lord that somebody will come and deliver me from this thing. And I have really found you. Oh, Obi. That hug won't be with his heart. As he's hugging it, inside him he's pulling away. Is this what I'm going to face? Don't make a man feel like you are so worthless that you just have to dash him. Make him feel like he's treasure that is coming into his life. Let him meet you seeing a woman that has value for herself, that has value for her future. You will enjoy perpetual respect and value in that marriage. You have your aunties, you have your mom, you have all kinds of people married. You see them every time complain. Doesn't have time for me. Doesn't have. The same man you think that is wicked, give that same man another small girl that understands the rule. Can even be 65 or a small girl that is 18 that understands the rule. You will see him, he will be after this girl. He will be going there. He will call her 3 times in a day. He will be doing all that. So how come you say the same man is bad? You say he's stingy. There is no bringing money. But look at what he's spending. Look at what he's spending on that girl. This one particular case, the lady was saying, sir, I've done everything for him. I was literally his wife. I've done everything. I did 4 abortions for him. I did everything. I cook for him. I go there literally every weekend. I wash his pants and clothes. But look at, he just made that girl. 6 months he has married that one. This one has been there for 9 years. He said, I will kill myself. I said, kill yourself. It won't change anything. It will make them less happy. Don't kill yourself. Learn what you did wrong and correct it. You will get somebody that is better than him. And if you keep talking like this, how can God allow this? I said, God didn't allow you. You allowed it. Men don't like to be overwhelmed. They like to have space. Very important too, not even by the women they like. And part of the reason he liked you in the first place, because you didn't really notice him much. And never pursued him. So now, don't start overwhelming him. Don't choke. I don't know if you know. There's a way men deal with this love thing. When you give it too much to them, you start coming out of their nostrils. They will throw it out. They will vomit. Give it to them moderately so that fresh hunger will keep coming. Just like that. Just like that. After all, it's the man commanded to love the woman, not the other way around. God, verse number 7. Men want as much as they can get on the first few dates. It's your job as a woman to slow them down. Within the first 2 days, you leave him, he will sleep with you. He will touch you where he shouldn't. Men are very dire, even born again men. As they hang around and see that they make one move, touch you in the wrong place, see that you just smile. The hand will move close. You just, oh John, you are tickling me. Okay. Before long, but men are hungry people. I don't know. God created. It's true. God designed this thing to attract. Testosterone. Somebody calls it Igbo. It runs in the blood. It's a drug God puts. When the hormone drops it, it's even more dangerous at that time. Because some rape people at such times. So pace the relationship. Slow it down. Don't expect a man to do it, because he won't. He wants the whole thing, including the one that should be eaten tomorrow. He wants it today. You say, hey, John, I thought you were born again. Born again does not remove this from them. It's just that in the heart, that a person that is born again is submitted, but the body is not born nothing. Don't believe that the body of any man, including preachers, are born again, because it's not. The way I say it is that spirituality does not cancel sexuality. And it's true. Men propose after you move away from. and not towards intimate relationship. Take note of that. When they like you, that's what happens. When they don't like you, after a while of trying to eat what they shouldn't eat, it can also frustrate them. They will come out with their stand about the relationship. They either go or start planning solid commitment. Never forget that. Men propose after you move away from, not towards intimacy. Men don't necessarily propose when you throw yourself at them. They do so when they are afraid of losing you. It's natural for men not to want to commit. Men can date you for 5 years, even some 10. We have cases like that. They are notorious for wanting to keep the actual engagement part till later. But when they find a ruse girl, they also have this thing. They start wanting the thing. They want to get this thing done so they can really have this. So, you need to know about that. In 21st century has become worse. In US now, in UK, in the Western nations, men don't even want to marry these days. They just want you to live with them, have a baby. These days, in Western world, they are becoming afraid of marriage. There are so many reasons. You know, the roles have reversed. Society has made the women are the men are the wives. It looks like the children even have more power than men. It looks like men are at the bottom of the arrangement. They just reverse what God did. Women are at the top, children second, men are at the bottom. So when you want to marry in the West, you have to ask the woman, how do we take this vow? Is it that I will love you and serve you and obey you? You will protect me, provide for me, and how do we make this vow? You know, because the way a man behaves towards you during courtship is usually the way he will behave during your marriage. Let me say 3 things here. If you have already started receiving beating during courtship, that beating will continue till Jesus returns. I can't say may somebody say amen because it's not a good thing. It will take divine intervention to change that. And you better know, some of these people that have been having problems, you know, their husbands attend churches and all the divine intervention that occur every week. The law, the rule states that men don't change that much. Anybody that is marrying saying he will change, you are making a big mistake. What you see is what you get. So it's either you adjust your mind that I can live with this thing and then stop allowing your heart to worry about it. Just be happy. You can be happy without nothing changing. The secret to a happy marriage is not trying to hope that things will change. It's accepting things the way they are. That is it. But if he has started chasing women while he was dating you, he chased your girlfriend, chased this, chased that, just know that that marriage will have that till rapture. The only thing that can stop is divine intervention again, which rarely will happen. And telling you, if these things, I'm not the one who believe in God, who has to promise you, don't. Just trust the Lord with fasting. It's something. You know, with God, all things are possible, but there's something about God. He does not control other people's will. He can only change what people submit, what people surrender. That's why with all the prayers you heap on him, it doesn't mean he can just go and break the man, turn him. He doesn't do things like that. He will influence the man. He will influence him. And even changing people takes God years. Look at some of you, you've given your life to Christ. Some of you, check how many years you've been. And check the process where it is till now. And you're expecting. So check well what you are seeing. Ask yourself, can I live with it? Be honest with yourself. Once you go, I third one now, if he's stingy during dating, just know that that's how it's going to be. Taking him to your pastor, to therapist, to counselor, to your whatever. Let's reverse it. If during dating, you buy all his stuff, you pay his bills, you say, oh, I understand why the last time he didn't come to church, so you let him drive your car. That's how it's going to be in marriage. And the wives will run down towards, cry, will call the man, behave now. When you finish, he will promise you. Some of the promises are sincere, but the pattern has been set. So learn it. Within the first few months of relationship, you set the pattern for how the rest of the relationship will go. And then during the relationship, you set the pattern for how the marriage will be. You still have power during relationship to set that pattern right. Are you hearing what I'm saying?